We're live. What is up, Restoration Rebels, Rebel Nation, interwebs? Andy McCabe here, Joe Spears over there. This is the Restoration Rebel Roundtable, the first one of 2024. This is the 3rd of January, 2024. I'm a little bit stoked, a little bit excited about this particular episode because I got a little creative this afternoon. I had a very rare lull in actual work to do today, so I got my creative juices flowing. So I'm excited. Also, we're gonna talk about macros. Joe, I didn't prep you for this, but I think you know where I'm headed with it. And talk about a little bit of Xactimate theory. I've got a specific take on learning Xactimate and how to go about it, doing Xactimate, and then we're going to tackle the question: is there real profit built in to the Xactimate pricing? Are we insane? Are we unreasonable for putting a markup on our mitigation invoices that are done in Xactimate? We'll answer all those questions and more, but first, I do the agreements. Let me get this shared. Share this sucker. No, let's do this. Share that. Nope. Oh, good. Share screen. There it is. That one. Nope. This one. Here we go. In the grand tradition of skilled artisans and guardians of our noble craft, we, the licensed professionals of the restoration industry, come together under a banner of shared responsibility and dedication. With a deep sense of duty to the insured public and an unwavering commitment to excellence, we hereby affirm our solemn pledge to uphold these sacred agreements. Agreement number 1, I will protect the value of my services. Offering free services only serves to erode the value of similar services industry-wide. Agreement number 2, I will practice incredible transparency. I will explain the claim process in detail to my client. I will not hide pricing details or falsify reports. I will never communicate with an adjuster without also communicating with my client. Agreement number 3, I do not believe in competition. The restoration companies in my market are part of my community. I will be an active member of my community. It is our unbreakable unity that will create the change that we strive for. And agreement number 4, I am willing to walk away from any project, client, or contract that is not compatible with my values and my stated mission. No relationship is worth losing money, sleep, or my humanity. Boom. Stop and sharing. Mr. Joe Spears. Happy New Year, man. How you been?
Been good, man. Been good. Looking forward to a year much better than last year's. I'll say that because last year, as we all know, was abysmal and just dead as a doornail. And I really hope this year that we get some. I mean, always feel bad saying it, but I really hope we get some bad storms in. And
We need some real action. We need something to sink our teeth into as an industry on the weather front. And guess what? It's gonna happen, right? Mother Nature saved up all her chips last year. I say hold on to your hats, ladies and gents. It is gonna get real. And hey, it might be starting right now with this nor'easter coming up the East Coast. We will see. Are you tracking that storm at all? I'm not. I haven't for a
I
while.
haven't really yet, but I know what you're talking about there.
I'm gonna pull up what's our favorite? What's your favorite app? Come on. Oh, Vintusky. That's the Vintusky. Vintus. I'm gonna pull it on my phone. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
You know that app.
hmm
Okay. Nyeh. travel. Inspections. Where's my inspections? Here's my inspections. Vintusky. We'll bring this sucker up here. All right, so let's talk about. Yeah, I'm seeing a whole lot of nothing. Oh, I see it. So is it coming out of the Gulf? That's weird. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot. Let me change my. Let's try thunderstorms. That's a
What was
pretty
that?
big low.
What was that one website I shared with everybody? Oh my goodness, what was it? Let me see if I can find it. The one I shared with us back when Ian was. Oh, I'll
Yeah, see if you can find that. So let's. I'm gonna keep notating because I think we're gonna get caught in the weeds on the Xactimate side of this show. I want to share with you that I was familiar with this concept, but I was refreshed on it today. Let me present my screen again. Sharing my screen, and there. Okay. It's called the illusionary truth effect. Essentially, if a lie is repeated enough, it starts to sound true. So I'm going to read this while you're looking for that app or looking for that website. I'm going to read what I wrote on LinkedIn today. The illusory truth effect. This phenomenon occurs when a falsehood is repeated so often that people start to believe it is true. The repetition makes the statement easier to process, leading individuals to mistake this ease of processing for truth. This effect highlights the powerful influence of repetition on belief formation, regardless of the factual accuracy of the information. So what things come to mind? You can't charge overhead and profit. There's plenty of profit built in. We're going to touch on that. We don't pay for the cost of doing business. We don't pay supervisor hours. We only pay ITEL pricing. We only owe what is fair and reasonable. So lately, I feel like I've been a ringleader in a clown circus. In the arena of insurance adjustments, performance is daily, and the acts are all too familiar. Adjusters with stern faces and confident tones tell me we don't pay for that. You have to show your sub costs, or you aren't allowed to charge a markup on cleaning, 10 and 10, or mitigation, or whatnot on roofing. These are the lines that we have been given, the script they follow without question, and they deliver it with the conviction of a troupe rehearsed in the art of deception. Wow, I was really feeling it today. They don't realize they're lying, not really. These are not malicious fabrications. They are repetitions, mantras that have been chanted in the echo chamber of their industry until they've lost all meaning apart from this. It's just how things are done. It's a narrative so ingrained that when it reaches the market, it's accepted as gospel. Irrefutable truths born from baseless lies. The impact of my work is profound. The impact on my work is profound and profoundly frustrating. My days are consumed by email battles, word wars waged against adjusters who may as well be mime artists for all the truth they speak. They know nothing but the lines they've been fed, and they recite them with a zealot's fervor. But here's the truth. Unless the policy explicitly states these provisions, these demands hold no water. We are not bound by the fiction they peddle. We stand on the solid ground of fact, of written agreements, and stated policies. And it is from here that I will continue to fight, to push back against the tide of falsehoods until the circus leaves town and the adjusters learn a new act, one based on honesty and integrity. So I would invite everyone out there right now, if you're not connected to me on LinkedIn, please find me on LinkedIn, Andrew G. McCabe. I'm not hard to find. If you see one of my posts there or anywhere else that rings true to you, reshare it, repeat it, because the illusory truth effect works both ways. We can speak the truth over and over and over again, and it becomes more believable. It becomes more ingrained. than the lies that are being repeated over and over and over again. So this is something that I believe political strategists and marketers and big companies have learned a long time ago. It's repeating. The more times you repeat something, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. It's going to start sounding more and more true to those who hear it. So let's actually repeat the truth as an industry together. So after I put this post up today, I actually put up 4 other posts. They're going to be on repeat for the next 30 days. If you see them in your socials, and if you care about the truth being spread in this industry, reshare that. Reshare that message. The more people that hear it over and over again, the more power we're going to have to fight back against the actual lies that are being told against us every single day. So let's dig into one of those lies, shall we, Joe? There is plenty of profit built in. I'm going to let you. Do I have to give you
There's the
permission to
link.
share?
There's the link, by the way, for the one I use for all my weather information.
What'd you do on a messenger? Let me get over
Messenger.
here.
You can pop that up. You'll like. I don't know if you've ever used this one on Esri, but Esri is amazing.
Okay, so
Go to disasters.
I see.
Go to disasters, and then choose like severe weather and all, and you can see all kinds of information on this. This is a wonderful website.
Huh. All right, let me share that up. Okay, I'm looking. Yeah, so this purple must be the warning area. Hailstorm, nope. I mean, there's a lot of action. Jacksonville.
And you can click on, let me see here, what is it you gotta do? You gotta do you can pull up the layers and see like wind reports and
Full
everything
screen.
else. There's all kinds of stuff you can do on this here, but this is like one of the best weather app satellite systems you can look at on things, and it'll tell you all kinds of different stuff.
Wow. Now, will this do kind of a that
Forecast?
rolling?
Um,
Let's see. Not seeing.
you've got to go down to scroll all the way down to the bottom, or go back from full page here real quick. Scroll down to the very bottom, and there should be a button that says disaster resources. Maybe, hang on, I got to remember how. I haven't been on this page for almost 8 months, so they've changed a little bit of it here. Let me see here. Where do I got to go here? Oh, someone's calling. Are they calling me? Oh,
I'm not hearing anything.
that's my phone. Don't worry about it.
All right, I can't get it to work, but this looks all right. So we should link this up in the group again.
Yep.
So evidently, there's supposed to be some weather coming.
Oh yeah.
My man David Baker did a live from the coast of somewhere. He was actually called out to do a pre-storm. Yeah, got the link. Let me
hang on here. I'm just.
I think I'm going to see if I can put the link here. It might be too big. Oh, shit. That was the wrong paste.
I'll paste everything into.
All right. Once you paste it in, we'll both paste it in.
For the chat here?
For the, where's my messenger again?
For the chat or the weather thingy?
The weather thing.
Oh, okay. Hang on. It's the first of the year, guys. It's supposed to be a bad class, okay? Just do it.
It's the first of the year. We are. Oh, that's why. Because I didn't copy it. Copy. Paste. Oh. Now,
by the way,
join.
When you paste this, by the way, on your link, if you delete everything after the question mark on the link, it'll shorten the the web address down, it won't have all the tracking information in it also.
Question mark.
If you didn't know that part.
Okay, so can you just go to experience.arccgis.com?
Well, I just
Or do you
listed it.
need
I just put it in the
Oh, okay. All right. It's all over the place. It's all over the place.
here. Hang on, here we go. Here, I'll
All
put it in.
right. Robert says the link to join. Can I post that now? Let's see here. Invite, copy, paste. Here we go. That's the link to join. There we go. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. Open up your I'm gonna stop sharing so you can share. Open up your Xactimate, my man, and let's answer the question: how much profit is built in? Mr. Maui.
Oh,
Mr. Maui's
Hello.
in the house.
Andy, hang on
Aloha.
while I'm pulling it up. There's one you can take a look at, and I'm sure you'll like. That's one I was looking for beforehand, but I could not find it.
Are you still sending it via message? Here's Messenger. Okay. There. Oh, the ServPro maps. Yes.
I didn't want to say that out loud. I was like,
Oh, but as soon as it's on the screen, it says ServPro maps right there.
I don't know what you're.
Oh, that is the one. That is the one. Okay. Yeah, that's that one's Mobetta.
Yeah.
But we don't get to share that one publicly.
Okay. So, all right.
Do we? Okay. All right. We've got looks like we are due for a Maui update. What's up, my friend? Talk to us.
How you guys doing today?
Hey, it's a new year, brother. It's a new year.
New year. Yeah, so it sounds like phase 2's right around the corner. They're finishing up negotiations on final prime contract, but a lot of the federal cleanup is going to start happening end of the month. At least in the Lahaina side, Kula, I think it's all wrapped up by now. At least 3 weeks ago, it was almost wrapped up.
Okay. So why is the Fed doing this cleanup versus having people just fend for themselves?
I'm not 100% sure, but I know what happened on like the California fire. There's a lot of people who just didn't know who to contact or how to deal with it. So the Army Corps of Engineers makes it available for any policyholders to get their lots cleaned up, and they'll only take the percent of their coverage. So it's like usually 25% of your property value is covered towards lot cleanups. They'll take that and do the cleanup for that first, or you can go hire your own contractor to do it.
Yeah, but it's an island, so it's hard.
Yeah, and most of the people who are doing the cleanup are probably going to go the federal direction.
Yeah,
just because it's all prevailing rates. So,
and then once that's done, then the real fight begins of how do we rebuild? How much money do we got?
Well, it's going to be interesting how that goes, or how fast or slow it goes. Couple things on that is one, Lahaina had an old, outdated sewage system, meaning it didn't exist. So all the sewage was going into the ocean.
Really?
So I think, yeah.
They were still just straight piping it, huh?
And straight piping, yeah. So I'm thinking that they're going to require. There was an EPA issue for like last 5 years. I think they were fighting with the county over that on the sewage issue. I think that's going to be a kind of a topic that they're going to maybe and have done first prior to any rebuilding of the roads and structures.
Of course, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And then another issue too is like water over there. The Campfire, California. I think there's some areas the water's still undrinkable. So that's what 5 years now. It's going to be. Is that the same situation that's going to happen over there? I don't know. Just interesting. And one last thing is I think it was on the Rebel group. Someone posted about that whole asbestos in the water thing. We're like in Hawaii, a lot of the old water pipes are all what do you call it?
Lead?
No, it's mostly it's all asbestos pipes, transite pipes, and so I do a lot of removal of that. And usually it's like a 20-foot section at a time when they're doing a project, putting a coupling in or whatever else. But yeah, but like, it was kind of a thing, one of those things where it made you kind of think. And when I went to like the Department of Water to look up the reports, and of course, there's no report on that specific thing. But it was interesting that the EPA said it's like 7 million fibers per liter is acceptable for drinking water. And I was just like, wow, that's really interesting. I'm kind of curious more than anything else.
Maybe it is. But yeah, mesothelioma is not a stomach disease. It's a lung disease.
All I want to say is the advent of streaming television has made a whole generation of people not know what mesothelioma was, because I remember staying home from school every day growing up, and between mesothelioma commercials and then the call 8675309, or not 8675309.
8675309.
No, what's the one where they were singing on the bus? If you need cash now, call J. 877 whatever. Like, those days are gone. But I want to real quick before we do the exact, there is one thing I want to make sure, because it's something we talk about constantly.
Okay.
Did you, and on Andy here, I'm going to send you the link, because I don't know if you want to maybe screen share and let everybody watch this little 3-minute thing, but there are people now getting sued by their insurance carrier because they are not using their preferred vendors.
What?
Stream this so everyone can see this. Somebody put it in the group, and I can't remember if it was Red Bulls or one of the other groups I'm in. Blew me away. Just freaking blew my mind.
Can you hear that? No, you can't, because hold on. All right, I paused it. Let's do a share again. I don't know if the we'll see. We shall see.
Well, you didn't start sharing your screen either. There we go.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's change it to that. And let's see if you can, if you guys just give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. I'm going to start playing now.
For the homeowners,
yep, I can hear it.
For sure, after they get a fair check to fix their homes. But what about the insurance company suing them?
Yeah, that's what People's Trust is doing to help with its own policyholders. The company claims they all violated their policies by repairing their Ian-damaged homes, not using the insurance company's contractor. Link News consumer investigator Andrea Shepard explains how some homeowners are fighting back.
I can't imagine this.
For more than a year, Mary Stewart and her family have been forced to live in their Ian-damaged Port Charlotte home.
Our ceilings are coming down in almost every room of the house. Yeah, this is the first.
Every day, she sifts through this stack of papers. It's a lawsuit with nearly 200 pages of exhibits filed against her by her insurance company, People's Trust.
It's just more than what people should have to put up with when they're paying insurance to stop from having to do this stuff.
She found People's Trust difficult to deal with from the moment she filed her insurance claim.
Yes.
Stewart says the People's Trust field adjuster who documented her home's damage listed a lot of things incorrectly.
And I would call up and I said, hey, you've got some errors here. I'm a pretty honest person. And they didn't even want to talk to me.
After about 3.5 months, Stewart couldn't take it anymore. She pulled up all the flooring ruined by water and hired someone else to install tile.
Here it is a year later. My porch is still gone. That was my sanctuary. I don't have my sanctuary anymore.
Stewart doesn't know how People's Trust learned she started making repairs on her home, but she was served with the lawsuit 9 days before Hurricane Ian's 1-year mark.
They came to my front door. They gave the paperwork to my 17-year-old grandson.
This is our largest investment in our lives is your home, usually. And I'm supposed to just let it turn into a pile of junk because they're dragging their feet.
Chester Punick in Punta Gorda is going through the same thing. Ian destroyed his pool cage, ruined his roof, and knocked doors off their sliders.
They agreed with everything. The only thing that we didn't agree on is how much it's worth. I'm saying it was worth somewhere between $160,000 and $175,000. They made an offer of 60 something, and they made us a second offer of 90,000. Not enough.
In February, he started working on his house, and People's Trust sued him in July, even though one of the company's desk adjusters sent him this email saying he did not have to use People's Trust's preferred contractor to fix his home if he takes the settlement offer.
After they sued us, they came up with a third settlement of $75,000. So they went from 66 to to 91 down to 75, thinking that, well, we sued them, now they're afraid they'll just accept it.
But he hasn't. And Punicky and Stewart are not the only homeowners People's Trust is taking to court.
Nope.
The company's chief operating officer told me they sued about 100 policyholders.
Jesus.
I counted more than 50 lawsuits filed after Ian in Charlotte County alone. It boils down to this part of customers' policy: preferred contractor endorsement and right to repair clauses. The state's insurance consumer advocate Tasha Carter broke down what those are.
Your insurance company may have the legal right to repair your property damage. And so instead of paying you as the policyholder a claim settlement for you to then make the repairs to your property, the insurance company will hire contractors to repair your property.
Homeowners typically get a premium discount if these provisions are in their policies.
If you ask somebody if they would take a $67 discount in lieu of getting their house fixed timely, nobody would in their right mind would take that.
Of course
Now
not.
Punicky and Stewart are in for lengthy court battles.
We buy insurance to protect us from the financial injuries of having damage to our home. These people are not doing that. I don't understand why they're even allowed to carry insurance in the state of Florida if they're not going to make sure your home gets fixed.
God.
Both Punicky and
That's-
Stewart told me they
that's-
aren't going down
But
with
that is crazy that that's where TPAs are going to now, is getting put in that they have to be used.
I've never heard of that. I could see the angle, but I don't know if People's Trust actually has a leg to stand on. We're going to have to go to the interwebs and real attorneys about that. That is so sad.
And breaking news, Ed Cross just opened an office in Florida.
I mean, it's got to be a scare tactic. I don't know
Well, I know
that they can win.
I know that there's a couple. I don't remember their names off the top of my head, but I've heard from people I know that there's a couple of people down, or insurance companies down in Florida, that are actually opening their own restoration companies within the insurance themselves, so that they can just pay their people at cost and just you buy our insurance.
Mhm.
We're gonna dry your house out. And
Yeah, there's got to be a reasonable. There's got to be something for reasonableness in that, because they didn't, if People's Trust didn't repair those properties within a year, they didn't.
Mhm.
So if they're going to trigger their right to repair, they need to get the fuck off their asses and fucking repair houses. I think that's the stance, but I'm no attorney. Man, I'm interested to see. Yeah. Dude, that is so sad. So dirty. Ah.
And also, hey, would you like to save $20 or $65 a month? Just you agree to use who we want, but they might be 5 years later.
Is People's Trust even solvent anymore? They must be. I guess.
Currently, I was watching some other reports. They're currently trying to. Oh my god! So there's another one I watched where People's Trust is trying to take off people because they got too many people on them right now.
Mhm.
And they're sending out letters to homeowners that say, "Hey, great news!" And it literally says, first words, "Great news! We found a different insurance company to provide you insurance. If you do not respond to this letter by going to the website and filling out this form, you will automatically be transferred to this new insurance." And the news article I was watching, the guy's premium was like $3,400. The new Great News Insurance premium that he would automatically get if he didn't go to the website was $14,000. And that's why they did their news report, because he's like, you got old people who don't have computers, or who don't, people aren't checking their mail. They think it's just junk mail and they're throwing it away, automatically get enrolled in these, new policies. And
Florida, it's going to be cost prohibitive to live in Florida. There's these insurance carrier friendly politicians don't realize they're cutting their own throats. They're going to depopulate Florida by the fact that people can't afford to live there. $14,000 for an insurance premium on a house?
Yeah, that's crazy. Something similar is happening over here, where I'm not sure if it's happening in your guys' area, but Hawaii kind of a unique state where any type of association or condo complex you live in, like an AOAO, they have a forced master policy with a deductible. So usually you get insured for like, say $25,000. First $25,000 loss is yours. If it's multiple unit damages, the master policy usually kicks in and covers, right? So what they're doing now is they're upping the master policy deductible to $100,000, which is insane. And a lot of the insurance carriers won't insure past $50,000. So you have $50,000 for a condo. So you have $50,000 insurance gap. And the letters are being sent down and it's being transferred within 30 days or 60 days. And there's not enough time for people to do a transfer. And then
you can't do due diligence.
Now there's like a huge thing. And then some of the condos now don't want to submit claims. So they're not, and they refuse to submit a claim. So you're on your own. So if you have a condo, then it's a $50,000 policy and it's $70,000 unless they're supposed to assess the source unit, but they're not. So they can't even go after liability insurance.
Insurance is, liability is tough because you got to prove intent and all that. But
in the condo complex, if the washing machine leaks upstairs and leaks in your unit, and you have a $50,000 policy, and then the association assesses the source unit as the you just get that letter to their carrier, and they'll cover it under the liability policy usually. But unless the association doesn't assess that letter, do the assessment, then there's nothing they can do.
Well, my understanding and my experience is an accident is an accident. You can't be held liable for an accident. And a pipe breaking is a pipe breaking unless you had malicious intent or you can show that this person didn't properly maintain their property. There is no liability to be had from a pipe break in one unit which flows into another. That's my experience. I've had multiple condo experiences in my life and my claims experience, and I have never once seen subrogation against a source unit ever, not even once. So maybe it might be unique to Hawaii. And you call them AOAOs? What?
A homeowners, yeah. An AOAO is like a condo association, the homeowners, and then there's like
I heard that for the first time today from a guy over in Kauai. He said AOAO, and I was like, "What? Wait, slow down. What?" He said the HOA, and I'm like, "Okay, I know what that means."
Yeah.
AOAO. Oh, okay.
All right,
That's cool.
back on track. So we want to talk about Xactimate.
Mr. Joe Spears, how much profit is built into Xactimate?
Well, there's only profit on your labor. There's no profit on no overhead built into any of your materials unless you're using general conditions, which is ridiculous by itself. All right, share screen, window.
So per the Xactimate pricing class that you and I both took, the this setting is correct. Oh, I have to add it. Here we go. The cost database for materials in Xactimate is one, retail cost in the market for that good, and two, it is the yield. How much area will that good cover? How much area will that gallon of paint cover? How much square footage? Blah 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 blah. So nowhere in that line item, and you can pull up any line item, go to your supporting events.
Well, here you go. For example, WTR, we'll just do the hourly rate basis here.
Okay. So the bottom line, materials, no markup. Equipment, no markup. Labor, there is a markup, and we're about to show you.
When you look at your components, guys, real quickly here. Shut up. When you're looking at your components here, whatever the price is here under your materials.
I'm sorry, we cannot see that. Hold on, let me try this.
Right.
There.
So this section down here,
I guess we can just get rid of our mugs here real quick. There we go.
All right. So down here where it says materials, this is supposed to be the actual cost. That's why, for example, if you are one of those people and you have to do FCC, NFCP, carpet per spec, and even if we're just going to replacement here, when you do your ITELs, see how it has $1.06 because it's still counting tack strip and stretchers, seaming iron, and
That
labor,
that additional
you're getting
window is
$1.06
not.
per
Oh,
square
there it
foot.
is.
You're getting
Okay.
$1.06 per square foot. But under the components here, you see how it has a zero number because there's no carpet pricing in here. That's when you do the ITEL and they say, "Oh, ITEL said it's it's a $1.50." Shit, if I could type, I'd be really great. $1.52 a square foot. Now it's putting in the price. Well, that $1.52 ITEL gives us, that's the X cost price. There is no markup on there. So you either have to rob Peter and pay Paul to set and tell the homeowner you only got $1 a square foot carpet,
Mhm.
or you need to figure out a way to take care of this. And I'll show you guys a way to do that here in a
Add a
second.
markup. But let's answer the first question first, Joe.
Yep.
Mitigation.
So
We're not allowed, air quotes, not allowed to add a markup, not allowed to O&P on mitigation. How much profit is built into your average mitigation job? This one's $5,700.
Okay, so let's see here. So if you look at the labor right here, guys, which if you don't know how to do
Start
this,
writing down. Hold on. A notepad. Okay,
All
go to that labor window again.
okay, so if you guys don't know how to do this, right here where it says item image, go build 2 down to unit price.
We
And
got a
here's your
total
price.
unit of $79.24
And
for
you can see this is a
water
non
labor.
item.
Okay.
It's done by the contractor. And I hit the I button here for information, and it gives me some detailed information here.
I'm not seeing it. Why am I not seeing it?
I don't know why you're not seeing it. That's really odd that you're not seeing it. Anyway,
You get to share your whole screen.
I thought I was sharing my whole screen. Hang on. Present, share screen.
Share the whole thing, not just a window.
Entire screen. Here we go. Let's try this way here.
There it is.
All right.
Okay.
So when
There
I
it
hit
is.
the I button, guys, and I'm going to show this on a couple different line items here, but this one here, so Andy can do the math over here. You can see that for $79.24, how much you're paying your workers. You should be
We
paying
got
your workers
$25.49.
$25.49 or less. Now this is for Minnesota, and this was for November, just so everybody's aware. It's not a current price list. It's just an old file that I pulled up for this example here. So if you're paying your people more than $25.50 an hour, you're already losing money.
You need to adjust that. But yes, okay,
Here's
and you
my-
adjust that by adding to the market conditions.
You can
Burden,
Yep.
insurance, workers' comp. Our past analysis has always arrived at that's pretty close. It's close enough not to worry about having to do this every single time. Xactimate's done pretty good. The labor overhead. This is this mysterious, oft-cited profit that is built in. We got $40.11,
which is coming out to 50.62% of a markup per
which
hour.
is a 50% markup. Thank you for
Fif-
that, Joe.
50
Okay,
point- yep.
so how many labor hours do we have in this $5,000 project? Wait, I can't see the top of your screen for some reason. Why is that?
As your
Oh,
bar, your quick check bars at the top there.
yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me get rid of the. How do I just get rid of that overlay?
Here, I'll
Just click on it again. Here we go. No.
right.
Here you go.
So total on this job here, we've got
We've got a. Oh, you don't have any WTR. Oh, and no, you have your CLNR is your
Yep.
WTR.
so
But we
this-
also have to do this for CLNS and HMRT. So
now the HMRT stuff is probably going to be for. Let's see here.
we'll just put in your HMRT labor, and we need those numbers.
Well, no, because everything in here should be switched over to CLNR.
Oh, okay.
let me see-
No,
let me
it's
see.
not because it's showing up in your labor summary as something else.
That's why. Hang on here. Hang on. Let me fix this real quick. CLNR. And that took care of the HMR. So then the only CLN supervisor we have on this file right now is going to be probably emergency response right here.
There you
which
go.
whenever, guys, just so you're aware, after hours I'll leave it the same. If it's during business hours though, instead of leaving it like that, I change it to initial response and evaluation.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
just feel like I get a better response out of that wording.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, change that over.
There we go.
I mean, it's 2.67 hours that we have to. We need to
Subtract
know what the. We need to know
Oh.
what the labor overhead is on that.
WTR LABS 85.54.
Okay, hold on. 85.54, and we've got a wage of 28.
So if you're paying your
04.
supervisor more than $28 an hour, you're losing
And that
money.
supervisor's probably on salary, so you've got to do that math. But I'm guessing it's pretty close to market. And then a overhead of 42.82.
50.06%.
Pretty similar. Pretty
Which
similar.
2804 times 40 hours a week times 52
Okay.
weeks is 58,000 a year.
But what I'm looking at is for every water tech hour, there's $40.11 of essentially overhead markup. And for every supervisor hour, there's $42.82 of markup or profit built in. Okay, so let's do that math. For the WTR, we have
We've got
41.92, right?
41.92, yep.
92.
And what's the rate again?
And 2.67. $40.11.
So 41.92 times $40.11 is $16.81.41.
Okay. And then 2.67 times 42.82.
$114.33.
33. For a grand total of 1681.41 plus 114.33, grand total of $1,795.74, which is, if we divide that by our grand total,
Multiply
of
by 100, divide by 5,000.
5671.
31.66%.
Higher than I thought it would be.
So on this water job here, which even though I
How
might
much equipment is on that?
about $3,000 worth of equipment.
So that's a gross profit of 31%.
Yeah. And if you look at, and here's the thing is, this is why, like, it's kind of the knock it out of the way kind of mentality here, is that you only have, on this entire job here, you only have $750 worth of materials. Now, you know, and like there's wood shims on here, which, because I used a door remove line, because I used a, interior door unit, like remove, because I wanted to remove the jamb, the door, and everything as one line item. But we're not using that material. We're not using any of these nails. So this number is not even true. But even at $750, your material cost, the markup that you would normally charge. What's the normal markup on material?
It depends on the contractor. I've got guys charging 40%.
Okay, so let's just say multiply by 40%. So that's $300. So that means that out of that out of that $1,795, we take $300 off. So I mean, once you take out account since you're not charging your material markup, your real number there, Andy, should actually be 1495.74. Does that make sense? Minus, let me make sure I said that right. 1495.36. So that's our number we need to use there. In all? So that would actually be divided by 5671.66. You'd be at 26.37% gross profit on this job.
20% gross profit.
26.37.
And if you have a 20% overhead and a 12% profit requirement, you are officially 6%. You're losing 6%. You are per revenue, you're losing 6% of profit. You're losing money on that job.
And one of the best things I tell everybody is, for example, everybody uses Content Room for something. I want everybody to be aware of this, just like I showed you before. The trade here, this is for a general labor. You can even look at the detail here. It says general labor, and you're paying $70.94. But you're using a water tech to do the same work. You change your trade to CLNR because it's a water tech doing the work.
Yep.
Now it's the same calculations, but it's the proper labor person getting paid for it.
So wait a minute. Why is that number 116, but the numbers we were using were 79?
Because this contents room line item is indicative of 1.47 total man hours.
But that rate. No. Go back to unit price.
So there's my room.
Go back to your unit price.
And hang on here. Let's see.
Never mind.
So
where was I seeing 116? Okay.
Because when you change it to CLNR.
Well, I'm surprised. Frankly, I'm surprised that the overall gross profit was that high.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're subbing out any portion of your mitigation, you're losing money. If you're not using a markup. And I would argue at these small numbers, you still need to use a markup just to cover.
And here's what I want everybody to know about and the stuff. As you guys can see here, all I have is water tech laborers. You can see I have just water tech laborers because I went through and, on this clean the floors, even though I'm using the HMR line item, which would normally be 86 cents a square foot. I'm showing integrity and I'm downgrading it to the water tech doing the work here. So it's going down. If I'm doing a water mitigation job, no mold, asbestos, blah, 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 I'm going to make sure everything is CLNR because that's what we're going to have out there on the job site. If if it was all mold, then everything in here should, if I don't have an HMR line item, like for example, content manipulation here, I would change this to HMRT because the water which obviously you see goes up to 147. But here's what I want everybody to see. The file that I wrote, if I were to use 100% default pricing and Xactimate, I would come in at, what was the number I was at before there? 57?
57 something. So it's even less. So our profitability keeps going down.
Because now that's why people always say check your labor minimums. If you're doing a water job and you have labor minimums like this here going on, well, you should look at, what's the labor minimum for? Oh, it's the contents. Well, I should go through and change all these to, my water tech. And me personally, guys, if I change the trade, I change the minimum group as well. So that way when I get through this list here, I can go back and look through here. But right now you're paying for general laborers, mold techs, painters, because I put in there to seal the stud walls, and
interesting.
And even though you're paying all those different rates, you come in less because
yes, you
do. It bounces around like that.
So I think that answered the question. There is some profit built in, right? There is, but there's not enough. No one can run a contracting company on 31% gross profit.
Now I will show Andy. I'll show you guys real quickly. Am I still sharing, or did you stop the share?
Yeah, I kind of covered it up.
Oh, okay.
Here.
All right. I'm going to show everybody a trick that I use for my materials. What you're going to do, and this takes a little bit of just knowing what you're doing. Go to your component list, select the whole list here, and get that number. So we've got $750.94. All right. If you're wanting to add in material markup, I mean, make sure that number, anytime make sure you're done with the estimate. Don't let that number change. All I do is I go to claim info, additional charges, and I will say, actually, this file's all the way wrong because he had already paid $6,500. Uh-oh. So this job should have been like $12,000 on. Don't ignore that. Anyways, I'm going to put in here material markup.
Wait. Are you serious?
What?
That would make more. Wait, it should have been 12,000.
Actually, let me redo this here real quick.
Whoa.
Hang on.
Whoa, because that.
I didn't notice I had the
Joe,
minute.
I thought you were professional. Come on, man.
Hang on. Let's redo the math there. You got all the numbers.
Okay, because
we just need the
that
original
would make
number.
more sense. Because my mind, I was thinking there's probably 15. There's probably 15% built in.
All right, here we go. Okay, I'm loading it back up here, and I'll share. I didn't realize that was in there, so that's my bad.
You got a New Year's hangover, brother.
My
Yeah.
phone went over there. All right, so
You're
if I take that additional payment here, because the homeowner, this is how much the homeowner paid, because they just wanted to show the insurance what they owed still. So if I take that off, then this file's at 12.
OMG. Okay, now I'm doing the math. All right, we're doing math now. Okay, we're going to share my calculator. Here we go. Okay, so what's the grand? Wait, first off, hold on.
1795.74. 1795.74.
Yes. Hold on.
Multiplied by 100.
1795.74 divided by, what's the total?
12221.35.
That is more like it, my friends. 15%, 14.5% gross profit. You are losing money, my friends, if you are not using an additional markup on your MITs. Thank you, Joe, for catching that. Thank you for your honesty there. We're all about being real here. Yeah, that 31% and that 26% wasn't sitting well with me. It didn't make sense, but this makes sense.
Yeah.
14%. There is profit built in, but it's 14.5%. Can you operate your business on a 14% gross profit margin?
No.
Nobody can.
All right, you want me to show you that trick I was showing real quick before we realize that screw up?
Yes.
All right. So, like I said, guys, you're all the way done with your estimate. You're ready to be done with 100%. Go to components, highlight everything you can. 750.94. Go to your claim info, parameters, additional charges, material markup. You're going to do a percentage of let's see here how it is. Percentage, I want to do 40% of 750.94, and I don't need to tax this. I want this account with my overhead and profit, and that should, if I did that right. Let me see if I did that right. Don't mean I probably screwed up again, and I'm not thinking. Let me see here. Yeah, I did that right.
Trying to get all fancy on us. Trying to get all fancy.
Do the math for me real quick. What's 40% of 75?
750?
700. Yeah, 40% of 750.
750.
Material markup.
0.40. 300.
40%. So I'm going to just type in here. I'll just do flat fee 300.
Well, it's going to put it at 12.5.
And now, yeah, because I need to, I'm adding back in my material markup there.
Mm-hmm.
And now when you look at the paperwork here at the end, it shows line item total, material markup of 40%, $300, the sales tax, subtitle, blah, 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 and there's my total.
Interesting. I wonder, oh man, there's 100 different ways to skin this cat, but there's an opportunity to, if you're not willing to customize your pricing, right? You're afraid we have to use the standard pricing. Well, take all your materials, add a markup to it, and do it that way. That might be another way to get some
And-
money out of this.
and
But
guys,
the problem, mitigation, there's not a lot of material in mitigation.
There's
It's
really
all
not.
on the equipment and the labor.
But here's the other thing, guys. Like I get people, Andy, how many times have you heard someone say, "Man, that hardwood floor was really hard to get up, and how do I charge for more hours on it?"
Well, there's all kinds of line items for that, but go ahead.
But FCW, glued down on We'll say it's glued down on concrete subflake, and FCW, and we'll just say S for the hell of it. So what you guys need to understand here also about Xactimate is this here. So this price here, the way it's calculating that price is under the unit pricing here, the details. If I click on edit right here, I can see that this is saying my direct yield is 17.34
17 square foot an hour.
17.34 square feet of glued down hardwood floor per hour is being taken up. Oh, that's just the hardwood floor. You add in the extra there for the glue down. So, if your guy, so this is what I tell everybody, like when you guys bitch about your pricing in Xactimate and saying, oh, the default price list doesn't give me enough money and stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, when I was a water tech, we were hustling. Like we would tear out an entire, we'd probably be tearing out probably 30 to 40 square feet per hour, which if I say that, let's just say.
Well, that's just because you're a big old ape, man. You got big arms.
I know that, but if I want you guys to see, so right now it's $2,400. If I say we're doing 30 square feet per hour,
it's going to go down, isn't it?
It's going to go down in
Oh,
price.
way down.
Yeah. So,
because your yield went up.
Because I'm getting more done per hour. Same way here. This one here. This is saying 50. This is saying you get 50 square feet of the glue down at a time. Which, I mean, I would think that these should be the same number. But, like, be aware, like, this is how Xactimate's intended to work. But, like, I don't think a lot of people realize sometimes how, like, WTR, DRY, WLF, 2-foot flood cuts. Xactimate is saying that you can do roughly 27 and a half linear feet of drywall at 2-foot flood cuts per hour.
An hour. Yeah, yield's low. We're moving faster than that.
Yeah, I mean,
but how do you quantify that?
If you do a 12 by 12 room, that's 12. That's say you do an entire 12 by 12 room. That's 48. I can do a 48 linear foot flood cut. I can cut it, bag it, and get it out of the room in about 35 minutes. We'll say maybe an hour. We'll say that entire 12 by 12 room would be. But when you want to bitch one day, they're going to start doing this, and they're going to say, well, a 12 by 12 room takes an hour, so that's 48. Well, now instead of getting $273 an hour, you're only owed $165 an hour because you're getting more. So you guys have to be able to pick your battles.
Well, I'm going to say your average adjuster is not going to understand the program at a deep enough level to even go there.
But as AI and computers,
hell, your average restorer is not going to be able to go there. Let's be honest.
But and here's the one we were talking about earlier, Andy, and I'll show you this here. Look, here's our demo line item, demo pickup. If you're doing water work, guys, are you guys having a demo laborer come out and pick up all the trash?
Nope.
No, you're not.
Nope.
So you're going to change
the trade,
the LNR,
and then change your minimum.
And then you'll see here, okay, well, what does this mean? Because I hear people all the time, you can't charge half a pickup truck load. I want you guys to understand something here. When I put this in, this is a full one count. Under components here, for just the living room, demo pickup truck. They're charged for 1 hour, or for one full count of the pickup truck, you're getting 0.05 units per week, which a week is 40 hours. So Andy, what is 40 times 0.05?
20. Oh, 0.05 is 2.
So you're getting that line item at a full one count gives you 2 hours, 1.99, 2 hours of a water tech driving the truck, 2 hours of using that truck, and then a half ton of trash. So, in the when they tell you guys, oh, it's only a half. Well, with the half
Mm,
here,
it's not
guys,
enough. It'll get you to the dump, but it
getting
won't get
1
you
hour.
back.
I mean, yeah,
Sorry,
you're
you're
getting 1 hour of
stranded.
driving, and you're getting 1 hour of pickup truck load.
hmm
It's still, regardless. You're not the argument of you
Not
can't
enough
have half
time.
a pickup truck load is not the argument you guys need to be having. Your argument
I
needs to
agree.
be, oh well, no, like we need to have the full 2 hours on the labor and the full 2 hours on the truck, and if that's the case, then go to your eye here, and you can always, you know, change this number. If you need to go. I mean, one of the easiest ways. Okay, I'm going to go to the dump, and it's only a quarter of a load. Okay, well, just
You can just change the yield.
change the
Yeah, or
change
change the price.
from 45. Let's have a 45. 20, 23.50.
Yeah, but that's only for people who actually are willing to engage in those ludicrous conversations. That does not include me.
But
I
also,
will tell an adjuster to go love themselves before I'll engage in that type of conversation.
With this specific line item, this is what I tell everybody though. 9 out of 10, probably even more than that, a vast majority of restoration contractors, and Robert, you tell me if you agree or not. You either have a job large enough that you have to get a dumpster set on site, or you're taking your trash and you're loading up into your water van or truck, coming back to the office and dumping it into your company's
dumpster.
Communal dumpster. So why fight and argue and bitch about, oh, I can't have a half a pickup truck, when that one communal dumpster is already covering 10, 12 jobs? Like, it's just, it's things like that there that makes it harder for everybody else.
It's a slippery slope though. And I always fall back to the principle of the matter. Who has the ultimate say of pricing and scope? The contractor. Every day of the week. The adjuster cannot dictate scope. The adjuster cannot dictate price. The adjuster's guidelines have no influence on my business.
And you're absolutely
unless I
right.
let them.
And you're absolutely right. But knowing these pieces of knowledge, if you're choosing to use Xactimate, knowing how to use how these systems work, and manipulate them correctly helps you validate and justify what you're charging. Now,
I agree.
If you're not using Xactimate in your QuickBooks, who gives a damn? I charge $150 per truck. Every job gets charged $150 for trash. Period. Done.
What's included in that? Doesn't matter.
That's our flat fee. Yeah, but if you're using these line items, knowing how to manipulate them, I'll do one more here, just because this is one everybody will love.
All right, I'll give you back. One more time.
Well, okay. How many of you guys go out and after you flood cut your drywall, and you do your WTR HEPA W, and you clean, you're going to clean the 2-foot PF there, and then you're going to clean your studs, okay? 2 PF. But this was all done at like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, middle of the night, after hours. There's no way, there's no after hours rates for these items.
For those two. Yep.
So all you got to do is take a look at your retail labor here, 87 cents. So 0.87 divided by 2 is 0.43. So we'll say 0.44. I can go to market conditions here and I can add 0.44. And now this is charging time and a half on the labor without affecting the equipment. And this number here for the sub-vacuuming goes from being 91 cents a square foot to being $1.35.
And then you just F9 note it. Item change to reflect after hours work.
Yeah, this is $1.06. Divide by 2, 53 cents. 0.53. Now I'm cleaning
time and a half.
At time and a half. Valid. Can justify. You go to court. How'd you get to this number? That's exactly how I did it. Stands up. If you're just like, I just need to add extra hours, that's where they get you.
So, Facebook user says his father's been losing money on projects, especially in the rebuild. I would tell you the only way you know that for sure is to know your costs. You know what your bills are, right? You know what your revenue is. You should. And if you don't, you've got a different problem. You take your revenue, reduce it by your cost, do that on a per job basis, and as long as you're catching your costs accurately, you're going to know what your profit percentage is. And I would guess you're not losing money per se, but you're not making any money. But the only way to know that is to know your cost.
And if you are using Xactimate and on your reconstruction, guys, just like how you saw me just now changing it to CLNR for content manipulation or for the demo, use that same logic when you're doing the other stuff. Oh, my flooring guy, my carpenter put in the baseboards, but my flooring guy is going to come in and install the laminate floor, and they're going to do the shoe mold. Well, that line item should be changed. The labor should be changed to a floor installer to capture
From
the
an
cost.
FNC.
If you're paying, if your drywaller is doing work,
Is there a significant difference between a flooring installer and a finish carp?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
There is. Okay.
I'll just tell you real quickly here. So, back in my so if I'm doing
there is.
Let's FNC shoe, base shoe, replacement for the on this price list, it's $1.74 a linear foot, and in this room it was 53.75, so it was $116. It's changing it over to a floor installer makes that price go up to $1.80, up to $119.97 before overhead and profit. So I mean, it's up from $93 to $120. Hang on here. Am I got overhead and profit on? I have overhead. So it went from $174. Sorry, $174 to
What year is it, Joe? What year is it?
It's 5 extra cents a linear foot, which
5 cents on a bigger job, it's worth it.
Yeah, but if you're if you're not getting dumpsters and your drywaller goes out and does his work, and then later on down the road your painter comes out there, you should have DMO pickup, maybe a half count or a 1 count, labor, drywaller, and then another one down at the end that says for the painter, because they're 2 different people doing 2 different activities. If you're painter, your labor for moving contents around, even if you do it by hourly, contents labor, normally $53. If I'm saying that the painter has to move the shit all around, it goes up to $81. $81.
Yeah, and if you're doing this sort of thing, you're not just doing it on one item. You're gonna do it. You're gonna take the time to do it across the board on the entire estimate, the entire invoice. That's when something like this actually starts to bear some real fruit. But at the end of the day, the easiest way to have profit and cover your overhead is to use a damn markup. And if you're comfortable agreeing with this number that's been pushed down upon us of 10 and 10, fine, use 10 and 10, but don't voluntarily just automatically not use a markup just because the adjuster tells you you're the only one that charges it. You're the only one that charges me markup on contents or markup on cleaning or markup on mitigation or markup on roofing. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Well, yeah. And now I am not trying to tell people how to bill. I'm not trying to tell people how to charge. But I will tell you guys this here. If you are going to do custom pricing, if you are going to do markups, your choice. I don't care how you do it. It's your business. Bill how you want. But like I said, at the end of the day, you need to be able to justify it. And I have found personally, I can justify all the line items on a mitigation. I can mark them up. I get them marked up all the time, 20, 30% times, not a big deal. The thing that I have found, and Andy, you might have a different opinion here though, is I don't mark up my equipment rental rates because there's no labor involved on that 24-hour runtime for the DHU. There's no There's no labor, there's no extra materials involved in that rental rate. It's just a rental rate. And, you know, if you run that machine, one machine for 4 days on 4 jobs, that by itself is $1,700. How much is an extra large DU cost right now? Robert, Andy, either of you guys know roughly?
Yeah, 1,800 bucks or whatever. Yeah.
So, you know, so at $100 a day, which is what an extra large DU is, 4 days on 4 jobs, and you've paid it off. Now, yes, there's overhead, there's storage, there's all this other shit in there, but
Maintenance.
you know, there's maintenance. I agree, but within 4 jobs, you're making either pure money or you're making like 80% profit on it. There's not a really good justifiable way, in my opinion, to justify increasing the rate of that DU, that air mover, that air scrubber, because they pay off so quickly. And you're going to keep them for what? Robert, what's your oldest piece of equipment? 10 years old?
Well, since I started over last year, everything's like 1 year old.
Brand new, baby. 12 months.
But but on average, how long would you guys say a DU lasts? 4 or 5 years?
4 or 5 years, yeah.
You know, you're going to make hand over fist there. So arguing that $100 an hour for your DU is not enough, I don't think holds water. So if you
Go to the market. Go to the market. Go to Home Depot. Go to Sunbelt. What's that DU cost you? Let's assume you don't own your equipment.
Okay. Let me bring up my little
And
thing.
if I go to Sunbelt, can I get a couple different rates from them and say, hey, I don't want to rent a brand new piece of equipment from you. I want to rent only the equipment from you that you already own and have paid off. Can I get that rate sheet?
Well, and also they pay, you charge, if you rent it for 1 week, it's going to be less than if you rent it for only 3 days. Dehumidifier. Let's see.
Make sure you get the right of AHAM.
I don't want a desiccant. Air management dehumidifiers. Let's see here. Air management. Those are desiccants. Here's a 25 grains per.
They don't even use AHAM there?
This is okay. I have to share this with here because this just made me laugh here. So this is 25 GPD. This is what they say is 25 GPDs.
What is that, a 7,000 or 6,000?
An LGR
25 gallons per day. Okay. Oh, 2,500. Okay. Okay.
I can't believe that, but so an LGR 2000.
So they don't put it in pints. Come on, people.
Yeah. So hang on.
Damn metric system.
But so hang on. Gallons to pints. 25. That's 200 pints. So this here for $185 for 1 day is considered an extra large.
Mm-hmm.
And in my system here for an extra large, I'm gonna get. I'm at 139. So 1 day is not
under
worth
market.
it. Now for
You're under
week,
market.
Now let's just say for 5 days, and there a week 7 days, so that gives you time to go pick it up and take it back on Monday or whatever. $695. Yeah, I'm above market there.
Hmm.
Now if we do this smaller boy here, let's look at the smaller boy here. These are Evos. They do about 18 gallons per day.
They're Revos.
So 144. So these are extra larges. For 1 day on an extra large.
Wow. $55? Ooh.
I think they
So here's
changed
my
the
extra large.
pricing because Home Depot says $67 a day.
But I'm charging
Ah.
$107.
So now they're under market. Interesting. See?
And then,
All right.
On a
All right,
5 day.
Joe. I'm picking up what you're laying down, man. I can't argue that. You got the
So,
facts.
There's 536.
Don't complain about the rate on the equipment. Okay.
Yeah. And I swear on everything, guys. You guys have known me talking for so long over the last few years here. If you increase your rates and you can justify, well, I have a higher labor rate, or it's going to cover my material costs, justifiable and can get approved. But without having a valid justification on your equipment, that's where they're like, oh, you just abstractly grabbed a number out of thin air and said, this sounds good. So leave your equipment alone and just do the things that have fluctuation, labor, materials.
Well, and mainly materials, because labor is marked up. Home Depot is undervaluing our industry. Are they though? Because their equipment is not the same. Sunbelt's equipment isn't even the same.
Well,
Maybe.
and I mean, your normal everyday homeowner is not going. And it also, guys, it is very important. Remember, like to pay attention to where you go to rent your shit at, because, like, I have a company here in Indianapolis. It's called Advantage, and if anybody from Advantage on here, you guys know I love you with all my heart. They're not stupid, okay? If I want to get a heat wagon, and Andy, I mean, that shows how old I am in this industry.
Yep.
You
I know
what
heat wagon. I know the Dragon Baby.
Okay, so an indirect fire furnace.
Yep.
Let me look up the line.
Ours always ran on diesel.
I'm just gonna say this real quick since he's looking this up. But so I looked at the Home Depot in the whole state of Hawaii. They have the Revolution, like the small 3 gallon per day, but they only have 4 in the whole state. So you're
In
so
the entire state of Hawaii.
Yeah.
And how many islands is that?
So yeah, they're not really competing.
Not in your market. No, they are not. Okay, so this is something I did know years ago. I did the math, and you are better off undersizing the DHU and then adding a DHU. So if you are, and this is how we can kind of game the argument back. You know, how many times you said, well, you should have only used an XL and you've got a double XL or whatever they said, right? Right. You know, anymore, actually, they're saying you should have used a large, but you can't buy a large DHU on the market anymore. No one sells them anymore. But if you do your DHU calculations and you need 140 pints, or let's pick something better. What's right on the cusp of an XL? What's the maximum of an XL?
149.
So if you need 180 pints a day,
no, I'm sorry, that's an extra large.
Yeah, that's XX.
A regular one is 109.
109.
110
so if
to
you need
100 is double X.
Okay, so if you need 130, well, you can use either one double XL, right? That'll cover you, or you can use 2 XLs. I would use 2 XLs every day of the week.
But well, and then here's the other thing is, guys, and I've challenged people. I challenge people all the time for this here. I only know of one dehumidifier on the market that is considered a commercial grade, which is what we use. We don't use
residential grade.
Residential grade.
Consumer grade.
Consumer grade. There we go. We don't use consumer grade. So I only know one dehumidifier on the market that is considered a commercial grade LGR, low grain refrigerant dehumidifier, and it only goes down to 65 ppds. Outside of that, which first off, I've never seen it actually get that low. So, but I mean, besides there is no such thing as a regular DHU for insurance work. You only
Xactimate should just take it from the database. They shouldn't even have it in there.
Because if a homeowner were to use a DHU or something of their own, like grandma, everyone knows the little brown one grandma has that has a garden hose that comes out of it and it's never running, it's full of water.
Yeah.
That's
right next to the ozone machine. She runs 24 hours a day.
That's the regular DHU. You're not drying with those. There's no reason you should ever accept or bill a regular DHU, because it's either you got a large or you got an extra large or you got 2 larges or you do a mix and match. And very, 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 very rarely will you ever do a double XL DHU. That's commercial grade. And if you need a bunch of double XLs, you might as well get a trailer mount desk. In my opinion, in a lot of situations. So large.
I don't know. I like using the heat factor of oversizing my drying chambers, you know, within reason. But if I can do a double XL and add actually the heat of the entire drying chamber is increased because I'm oversizing it. As long as I'm not blowing the material out, I'll go that route because it dries quicker. It just does. And that's the other argument. The other side of the argument is, well, you should have used a smaller DHU. Well, it would have taken twice as long. I'm more than willing to use the DHU you're recommending in my invoicing, but I'm going to double my drying, or I'm going to add 3 days to the drying. What would you prefer?
Now,
Because the reality is it gets hotter. The more you oversize your dehu, oversize your drying chamber, the quicker it's going to come dry.
Yep. Now, with it being, this will be my last piece of knowledge for everybody. With it being wintertime, if you're one of those guys that you like to get the old indirect fire furnace out and dry your crawl spaces and everything out, okay?
Ah, the dragon.
$227 a day. If you go to
Okay.
a company that actually is in our industry, like I said, I have a carpet cleaning store that does equipment rental. They're probably going to charge me every bit of probably $150 a day or so for this machine because they know the value of what I get on it. If you go to Sunbelt, though, I can get that the same. There's 100. This is a 100K BTU one. I can get the whole thing
Not
for a week.
including fuel.
Well, yeah, but I mean, well, this doesn't include fuel either.
Nope, no, it doesn't.
Excludes fuel set at the time to load up the little diesel caddy and shit. So this is just the equipment runtime. If I go to Sunbelt, I can get the same machine here for $400 for the week.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're be aware, like, you know, people sometimes rent from like John Don's and stuff. Those people have higher rental rates because they know how much you're going to pay, build the insurance on it, and they're not going to get.
That is a good point, Joe. That's a great point. Yeah, we love them, the Ramsco, John Don. We love you. You've done a lot to support our industry. Looks like we lost Rob. Rob, great to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out. Okay. They've served a purpose and they continue to support our industry, but they understand the pricing that we use. They've got the inside scoop, and you're paying a premium.
Yeah, unless you're doing large loss, you're getting a whole semi-trailer and getting massive discount stuff. It's always better to do like Sunbelt and stuff, guys, if you can, because they're not expecting you to use that furnace to dry something out. They're expecting you to use it to, like, heat the house up while your carpenters are working. So they're not billing you the same values and stuff. Being sensible about your pricing, Sunbelt and Home Depot stuff, those places, they give better discounts the longer you rent them.
We're contractors. What do we get paid for? Finding value engineering, for finding good subs. It's our job to shop these things out so we can make more money. That's our job. So you should have more than one equipment vendor. You should have more than one material vendor. Just like you should have more than one plumber, more than one electrician. You should have more than just one of each trade in your stable of options. Because if you don't, you're operating in a vacuum and you don't know if you're being charged a proper rate or not. You just don't. So, all right, I think we did it, man. We went an hour and a half today.
Hey, we did a good. I will say this here, guys. We're posting this in Restoration Rebels. I'm posting it in my little Exact Average Joe's Xactimate Help group as well. This year, I'm challenging all of you guys. Once, I want everybody that can, just one time this year, join us for a group, because as much as I love talking to this man right here every day, I would love to hear some other people talk and
other voices.
I mean, think of it like a Dear Abby column. Hey guys, here's my problem. Let us help you guys talk things out, because we know the issues, but some of you guys, we talk about some stuff, but you guys might have complicated issues. You might have super simple issues that you're afraid to ask, that you don't realize how many people have them.
Yep. We don't, Joe knows this as well as I do. I don't solve any truly unique problems in my day-to-day. They're all the same problem, just from a different person. The reality is we have to bring so many new people into the industry to service the needs of the insured public in this country and in this world, that there's always going to be someone who hasn't been here, who hasn't heard it. So that's what I spend the majority of my day. I had my new client, my guy in Kauai. He was asking, is like, man, there's a bunch of stuff that came up in our phone conversation today, but it was everything I talked to him about was stuff we've covered here on this show. We've covered in the group ad nauseum, but Joe's job and my job is to not get tired of telling this. We will tell it as long as as many times as it takes. But your guys' job is to show up. Your guys' job is to show up and ask the questions. Because if you don't ask the questions, if you're not curious, and if you're not willing to be a little bit vulnerable, and maybe, I don't want to ask dumb questions. Well, the dumbest question is the one you don't ask, because then you don't learn.
And
So
guys,
we're here to
seriously,
teach.
I know there's a bunch of people sometimes that can be assholes in the group, and they're like,
There are.
But if you guys are that and stuff, message me, message Andy privately and stuff. I mean, we'll respond. I promise you, we will respond to it. And then
We will respond.
just because it's 2024 now at the beginning of the year, to make everybody feel super old, I just want to state this fact that if they were to remake Back to the Future this year, Marty McFly would go back to 1994.
We are so old.
Yeah. I always live my life thinking like 98, 99 was like 10 years ago. And
No, it wasn't. Oh man. All right. Well, we're the same bat channel next week, 5:30 Pacific. I'll do a better job of sending out the notice ahead of time, but it's here. Once you get here, if you see it on any of the streaming platforms, the first thing we're going to do when we get on, we're going to post that link that you can click, and then boom, you're going to be here. You're going to be talking to us directly. So, Joe, be good this week.
Well, hang on. One last thing we both get to do. Do your shameless plug.
Oh, which one? For Quick Check?
Whichever one you
this
want.
one?
You got to do
right
your
there.
plug.
Quick Check. Yes. We're doing well now. We just started Q3 last year in earnest, and we are looking at surpassing my revenue for claims delegates this month. It's crazy. It's
Nice.
It's really crazy. So if you are tired of sitting in front of your computer screen and hacking at the keyboard trying to write Xactimate all day, well, we got options for you. We got restoration insurance billing over here, Mr. Joe. There.
We
got
handle
Quick Check over here. What do you guys handle?
So Andy handles not just writing estimates, but he will work directly with your field techs, having them call and check in with them, almost like having Encircle, but someone asking all the questions and make sure they didn't get it right. So they need more hands-on. Andy, if you've got lots of files, RIB, we handle writing estimates. And then we also have the ability to handle submitting to the insurance company on your behalf, doing that part of the legwork, phone calls, every 24 hours, and getting you able to, getting you paid and making sure that that's followed through with you guys.
Yeah, I don't like collections, so we don't do them. That's what Ribs does really good, really well. Yeah, I think between the two companies, we've got something for every single restorer out there to free them up so they can do their highest best use. Hacking away at Xactimate is not your highest best use.
Guys, you sub out. You guys are already subbing out your payroll. You're already subbing out your insurance. You're subbing out your HR stuff. Don't be afraid to sub out your billing and collections, because it takes away from your ability to be in the field and to get, and be productive and make actual jobs happen.
100%. 100%. All right, there you go.
There's that link for that Rocket Plan, guys, which is the Encircle Lite, as I like to call it.
Encircle Lite. Low entry. That's what he called it. Low entry to Encircle.
Less than 5, listen, I love Encircle, and they know I do. But if you need
Encircle.
less than 5 users in all total in your operation, Rocket Plan is financially a better option, unless you need 7, 8 unlimited users.
When is RIB going to be Encircle certified like Quick Check is?
Well, we've talked to them. I gotta get me and one other person take the course. It's just for the Christmas season. We haven't got it there yet.
If you've been to the Encircle website lately, you can see 2 of my companies on the Encircle certified firm list. So go to Encircle. It's getencircle.com. That's enough for today. Joe, be good this week. We'll see you next.
Later.